This is the al-maidah initiative, conversation without compromise.
Wow. So I want to start before Jesus.
Sure.
Some of the questions, majority of the stuff, they're very similar in the beliefs that we have.
Right.
Like you were pointing out. And there's just a few things that are different. Right now, I just learned that you guys, Christians, believe that it was Isaac that was sacrificed,
Right.
or that was meant to be sacrificed. For us, it's Ishmael or Ismail. And these are both, sons of Ibrahim or Abraham. And Abraham is the father of all of the prophets. This is the belief that we have. My question is, the parts where, about his wife that gave birth to Isaac.
Yeah.
You were saying that God actually came.
Yes.
For us, it's angels that came and gave the good news of, Sarah having a child, and it was the same reaction, the laughter, and then how can I give birth when I'm this old, and this is my husband and he's very old, and then this is the command of God and this is going to happen. Now, at that place where God comes, and in the other times where God comes, do you guys believe that's Jesus coming?
Yes.
So at that, before he was born, he was already here.
Yes.
And he was coming to Jacob. He was coming to other people.
Yes.
And what was besides what you were saying, was there other things he came with to them?
Oh yeah, there's several times if you go through say Exodus, so Genesis, Exodus, Joshua, and Judges, which are the first sort of few books of the prophets.
Yeah.
You see this happen several times where people kind of see God face to face,
Yeah.
and acknowledge that, and how the heck did we survive that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So it's a consistent theme.
Okay. Then the story of Moses, very close. Just a few things that are different here and there. Other than that, so now I think this is the point where I'm supposed to ask questions.
Yeah, or you can just give thoughts.
Now hearing all of this, I understand why the notion of Jesus being the Son of God or being God is there. Before, it's always just been, this is the belief, and this is the first time that he comes, and this is what we decided that he was.
Right.
But seeing that, according to Christianity, that he's been here before.
Right.
That was something new. And then one of the questions that I had, for 30 years, he did nothing. The first 30 years. When I mean, not nothing, but he did not live a life that we know him to live.
Right.
Right?
Except that, in that we do know, but it's that we know that it's kind of unremarkable, except that he's wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not given a bunch of information about when he was 20, he went to this event and said this.
Yeah.
And we've got his birth. We've got one instance when he's 12 or so, and then that's it until he's 30.
Wow. So this is, for us, is different. I'm pretty sure you've, having come the Maidah initiative, you've probably read that chapter of the Quran and what it says about Jesus. For us, the first thing that happens is right after birth. He becomes a prophet as soon as he's his mother Mary or Maryam gives birth to him, and when she goes back to the town or to the place that they're living, they start accusing her of committing adultery and committing evil acts that why would you do this when this was your father, this was your mother, these are people that we knew for righteousness, and this is what you're doing. So as soon as that happened, Jesus was one of the first one of 4 children that spoke while they were in the cradle, right, while they're still in the the time of suckling, and he frees her from the accusations that they're given against her. You guys don't have that?
No, in fact, it wouldn't quite make sense with the version we have, right? Because Mary and Joseph live in a place called Nazareth, but then he's born in Bethlehem, near Jerusalem, because there's a census, right? So when Jesus is born, Joseph is going to divorce her quietly because he's doesn't want to shame her publicly, right? So he's going to just do it kind of on the down low. But then an angel comes to him and says, no, this child is from God. Yeah. Don't marry her. Yeah. Right? And so then they go to Bethlehem for a census. But when that happens,
What is census?
A census is when they count the population.
Oh, so I kind of figured, but I was like, I thought it was different. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so the same as today.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the Roman Empire.
Ah, I see.
I'm pretty sure census is a Latin word.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, go on. Okay.
So Joseph goes back to Bethlehem, where he's from originally. But then Magi, from who were kind of sorcerers, Zoroastrian kind of people from Persia, come to visit him, and they come via the palace of the sort of vassal king called Herod, and they say, we're gonna with the king of Israel has been born. We want to come see him, and Herod's like, tell me where he is so I can come worship him too. But Herod wants to kill him. Yeah. So, but then they're warned about this in a dream. So Jesus and his family actually flee to Egypt for several years. So in Egypt, so Jesus' childhood is actually spent in Egypt.
I see.
So he doesn't need anyone to he doesn't need to be like, hey, my mom didn't do anything immoral, because he's not born in his hometown. Yeah. Doesn't grow up in his hometown. They move there as a family kind of later on, where you just have husband who's been married about the right amount of time. Yeah. Got siblings at this point.
Yeah, so that's very different from us.
Right.
We like the stories that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us inside of the Quran regarding Jesus. They start from, of course, his mother and how she is the greatest woman ever created, and then from her comes Isa, which is Jesus. And then as soon as he's born, he talks and he defends his mother, and he tells the people the reason why he's here. Right, he's a servant of God, and he's coming to follow the messengers that came before him. Now, the other question: is Jesus a Jew, according to Christians?
Yes.
So why are they Christians?
Okay, so let's clarify what that means, right?
Yes.
Because there's an ethnic Jew and there's a religious Jew. Right?
Yeah.
So Judaism in its current form, and I'll take heat from saying this, is actually a younger religion than Christianity.
Okay.
Because now people would argue with me about the technicalities, but what I mean by that is modern Judaism is created in replacement of Second Temple Judaism. So Judaism was all about these temple rituals that had high priests and animal sacrifices and a calendar revolving around that. Right? Yeah. Now, that does not exist anymore, and it has not existed since 70 AD. Wow. Now, all of the New Testament is written before 70 AD. Yeah. So modern Judaism kind of reformulates itself as rabbinic Judaism in the time after the temple was destroyed. So you have the Talmud and the Midrash. See that as like the Hadith for Jews, basically. Right? Yeah. So the Judaism of Jesus' time kind of goes in two directions. One is a messianic direction centering around Jesus, and the other is
following what came before him.
Well, following the rabbis, and kind of a different direction. Okay, right? Yeah. Neither's about the text of the prophets that came. The Judaism that comes from that is not strictly about the prophets that came before them,
but the rabbis that are in control now, basically.
Exactly.
I see.
This is part of the religious scholars, and that's not to say.
And then the other one is what Christianity is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of two divergent parts of Judaism, right?
Yeah.
So, again, all the scriptures that I read to you are from the Jewish scriptures. And
that was like, it kind of makes sense. Yes.
So Jews are going to have to do different pieces of math when they're reading things like this, because we don't have a different version of the Torah and the Tanakh than they do. It's all the same.
Okay. Wow. Learning a lot of things. Okay, another question.
Yeah.
I hope we have time for it.
We have the after show as well.
So my question is, what does it mean, according to your beliefs, that Jesus sacrificed himself for humanity, for the world? What does that mean?